Good morning. It's Friday, May 7th, and today I'm going to tell you what pisses me off about this country. And it wasn't always this way, but it's gotten to a point where we have gone off the rails. And I'll tell you what it is. Basically, it's our federalist system. It's the system of states' rights. And if you take a good look at this thing, you say, yes, that's perfectly okay. I think it could work. And it's worked for 250 years. But what's wrong with it now? Well, it's gotten totally out of hand. And I'll tell you why. Because most of the people in the red states believe in very small government. They don't believe in any federal government. And they believe in low taxes or no taxes. And they believe in low minimum wage. And then if they have a low minimum wage, they can't collect any taxes anyhow. So these states that are running that way are taking advantage of the other states because they don't have enough money to take care of their people because they refuse to tax them. And they refuse to have programs that benefit the people because those things cost money. And you can't get money if you can't tax the people, or you won't tax the people. So that's a terrible situation. It's an absolutely disastrous situation. And I'll tell you what's even worse. When you have a disaster like we had in Texas, where the idiots who ran Texas put up the windmills and didn't winterize them, and then they had a cold snap and the windmills didn't work. And then because of that, they had no electricity and no water for weeks. And because of that, Ted Cruz tried to sneak away to Cancun, but he got caught, and so he came back and he gave out bottles of water. So he was giving out bottles of water while AOC was raising money for those poor people. She raised over $6 million for the people of Texas. And why did they have to do that? Because Texas believed in states' rights and they believe in small government, and so they don't tax people. So when a disaster comes, they need money. And where do they go for this money? They beg the federal government for it. They want billions from the federal government. And the federal government, of course, gives them the money. And where does the federal government get that money from? They get that money from the states that are willing to tax their people, the states that are willing to pay a higher minimum wage, the states that are willing to take care of their people, the states that have a salt tax that was capped at $10,000 when most of the people in that state are paying more than $10,000. And so they're getting screwed. And the money they're getting screwed out of, which is going to the state because we can't deduct it, it's not a tax deduction for us anymore. That money is the money that Texas begs for, and the federal government gives them money. So you've got the states that are running properly, taxing their population properly, giving benefits to those people. The unemployment benefits and many benefits like that are much higher than they are in the skinflint states. And it's about time we stop that. I say that the states are entitled to the money, but they're only entitled to the money that they contributed to the fund. They shouldn't be getting money from the states that are doing the right thing. And the right thing is having a government that's collecting taxes, that's willing to put benefits out in place for people to live a good life and not to have to worry about a lot of stuff. So you see, when things happen in Texas or Kentucky or Louisiana, they don't have the money to pay for it. And they're quick to run to the federal government. And now when this country needs to be fixed up, the majority of the senators who are for small government are holding up. They're not going to vote for these infrastructure packages. They don't believe in infrastructure. But if one of their bridges collapses or something bad will happen in their state, they will sure as hell run and be begging the federal government for another state's money. So we really have to take a good look at this democracy that we live under. And we really have to make sure that this is the way to run the country. This bullshit about small government is wrong. We need every state to contribute their fair share. And their fair share can never be contributed if they are going to be skinflints and not collect taxes from their people and pretend that they're doing this for all the right reasons. If you won't raise the minimum wage, you can't tax people properly. And people can't live a decent life on the minimum wage. So we need many great changes in this federalist system. And it will start with the states that are sucking us dry, waking up and doing their fair share. It's not right. It's absolutely not right for any state that doesn't contribute its fair share to collect money from other states. And then they laugh because they know, the governors of those states know that if they get in a pinch, they're going to go to the federal government to bail them out. And the federal government is going to take the money that these other states contributed and bail them out. And we should all be working together because I know that I live in a state that contributes a lot of money and we only get like probably 60 cents on the dollar back. And that's not what states' rights was all about. That's not what the Federalists believed was going to happen. Because at the time they set this thing up, we were a tiny little nation and we were willing to help each other out. So as far as I'm concerned, we have a lot of work to do in this country. And we really need to get together and do it. And infrastructure is a major, major deal. And you may not like every piece of that infrastructure bill, but every piece of those things has to be done. So if you don't want to do all of them at one shot, you can slice and dice it and get it done. Because it doesn't matter whether we do it all in one shot or whether we slice and dice it. It's still going to take us years to catch up, to figure out that we have neglected this country for a long time. So that's all I have to say now. So I'll see you in the morning. Bye.